Good morning, students in Special Ed 509 Educational Psychology Fall Semester 2016. Andy Johnson, your guide for this learning experience. Just an overview of the syllabus, and the course is an online course. The text, you should be able to get that from the bookstore. This is an intense course, 15 weeks, so strap yourself in. I highly recommend that you find a time, set aside a time each day to do a little reading and studying. Some people get up early and spend the first hour every day focusing on this course. I would, however you do it, but you have to set aside time in your busy lives if you are going to succeed with this course, and I want you to succeed. So let's go over a couple of the basics. We have celebrations of learning, 3 of them worth 45 points each. You will participate. This is based on the material and the text, the assigned reading, lectures, etc., etc. Take it on D2L, of course. 45 multiple choice true or false questions. Now, 45 are generated from a test bank of about 200 questions. You'll have 60 minutes to complete the exam. Now, here's the thing. You can take each exam up to 4 times, and each time a different set of questions are randomly generated. D2L will automatically record your highest score. Now, I generally keep the window open for about a week on this, so most people, if they do well, they'll take the exam, look at the questions they got incorrectly, do a little studying, and take it again the next day. However you choose to do it. But know that you can take each exam up to 4 times. Native American, lesson plan and micro-teaching. I'll be going over that specifically, but you see there, Appendix A, it's described in detail. Essentially, you've been put in a small group. You have, I think, 5 or 6 areas from which to choose. You are going to create a lesson plan based on that and teach to your small group. Oh yeah, here are the areas right there, so you'll choose one. This is done for 2 reasons. To meet the standards related to Minnesota-based American Indians, so you don't have to take a separate class, but to get you used to what you'll be doing for the rest of your teaching lives, which is organizing some information and teaching to a group. Teaching is teaching, whether you're teaching kindergarten, 1st, 2nd grade, or to graduate students. The basic essence, elements of teaching is the same. And I have taught in kindergarten all the way up to grad school, so I know about which I am talking. Teaching is teaching. Say a little bit, do a little bit, organize what you are going to say, teach to a purpose statement or goal. All right, so that is the lesson plan, and I realize, people, that this will be the first time many of you have planned and organized a lesson. I do not expect them to be perfect. Part of learning is to have the experience. The lessons you plan 2, 3, 4 years from now will look much different. The lessons you plan even a year from now will look much different. So don't freak out too much if you feel a little uncomfortable with the process. That's all part of learning. It's all okay. You'll teach this in small group to your group, and you'll see that in just a minute. See Appendix B, and reflective analysis. Good teachers are reflective teachers. Effective teachers are reflective teachers. Good teachers figure out, what did I do well? What could I do better next time? So there are descriptions for that. You will have a diversity field experience here, where you're going to travel outside your normal experiences and expectations to have a meaningful interaction with people in one of the designated diversity groups. And see Appendix D. And I see I forgot a paren there. By the way, there's going to be a few typos here. That's okay. I forgive myself, and I will forgive you if you have a typo here or there. All right? So you're going to submit a proposal and look at these highlighted green things. Those are the due dates. All right? And I explain this in depth in other videos and in other places. But you're going to have this experience, and then you're going to present again to your small group, graded both on the substance and the presentation, 5 to 8 minutes in duration. And again, you're going to reflect. And we have discussions, weekly discussions. I want you to interact with the material, interact with your own ideas and thinking, and with each other. These are your human groups or your discussion groups. You'll be using this for weekly discussions, as well as your teaching, as well as your presentation. So you will get to know these people quite well. Discussion groups are asynchronous. Online, most people do not, because of your busy lives, want to be tied to a specific time each week. Discussion groups are better than chat groups that way. So as long as you interact sometime during that week, make sure you keep up with your reading. This is not a course that you can ignore for 2 weeks and then try to catch up on all the reading. You must stay up with the reading. There are some complex ideas here. Course schedule, you see week 1, and I've highlighted, these are the ones that I highlighted are ones that are found on D2L, ones that I have written. All right? The first assignment is due 9/19 week 4. Your first exam is week 5 on that stuff. So again, you cannot ignore this for a couple weeks and think you're going to do a bunch of cramming in week 5 and do well. You simply cannot do that. Simply cannot. All right? And I've tried to be very specific about the page numbers with each chapter. All right? Native American lesson plan, that is due week 7, both the plan and your teaching. Week 8, reflective analysis. Second exam, week 10. Diversity field experience, online presentation, etc., Week 15, I've just kind of had a little cushion there, a little catch up there in case we need it, because it does get kind of intense during these last weeks. So I have a little bit of cushion in case you're not able to quite keep up with stuff. All right? Here are the appendices where each one is described, and I'll go over this in another lesson. So that is the basics. Again, this is, well, I think it's an interesting class, but it kind of lays the basics, has foundations. You cannot succeed or do well here if you do not attend to this. The basics, this is called distributed learning. It's a basic learning theory. You will learn more with less study time if your study is distributed over time versus massed or crammed into time. They found this to be true when training rats, when training pigeons, and when working with human beings learning. Massed practice, a little bit over time, much more effective than, or distributed practice, much more effective than mass practice. You cannot cram and try to catch up because there are some big concepts here. The only question is stupid question is a question not asked. Please email me or phone me with your questions if you have them.